Hello and welcome to the Suzuki GS750 calf racer build. Right, this week I'm going to fit the controls. And I've been saying it for a couple of weeks, stuff gets in the way. So yeah, this week, fitting the controls. So I've got a brand new left-hand handlebar control for obviously the left-hand side. So yeah, we're going to fit that. I've also still got the original right-hand OME control, which is working fine. It just needed a bit of a tidy up, so we'll get into that a little bit as well. I also want to fit these, so the front braided brake hoses. Now, these are the original ones that kept, well, they're not the original ones, but someone obviously loved the GS enough to put some braided hoses on it, which is fantastic because they're still working and they look great. The only issue with them is that they need shortening down a little bit. Well, one of them does anyway. So I've got a brand new brake union connection for that. So I just need to figure out how it's all going to work, how it's going to play. So what we'll do is just jump straight into it. So let's crack on. So these are the lines that came with the bike. As you see, they're pretty good. Yeah, someone liked the GS enough to buy these for it. So anyhow, we've got the two lines that are going to run to the calipers. So we'll say caliper 1, caliper 2. Obviously, these are twin front calipers. Lines will run up to the bottom yoke, and here at this point we've got a junction section. So these pipes will run into like a junction along with this pipe here. This will then go from the junction all the way up to the pipe to the brake lever. Now, this is the pipe that I've had to cut down because obviously the bike's been lowered and the handlebars are lower, so everything's kind of like a bit out of place. So yeah, cut it down. I need to fit the new union. Yeah, nice right-angled union with a brand new olive as well. So what I'll do is show you how that all kind of comes together now. Right, okay, so new brake union. So they'll come in various different sizes and flavours, whatever you need for your bike or whatever you're doing. This is a 90 degree. You can obviously get straights, 45 degrees and what have you. So yeah, for this I needed a 90 degree. It'll also come with, should come with a new olive, and then it'll come with the actual union nut as well. Reason it's on the pipe already is because when you cut these, obviously the braided metal kind of flares out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, for that reason. So yeah, it's quite sharp, so I'm alright people, I'm alright. So yeah, put the union on top tip, put the union on first, and then you can cut this away and trim it back. Obviously this needs to be trimmed back so you can get the olive on, so just be very careful of that. As you've seen, I've already pricked myself. So basically how it works, the olive goes on to the pipe section, and then what you've got is this spout on the union, and that basically goes through the olive and then into the actual brake pipe itself. So it's a bit of a tight fit, and then all of this is just bolted up. What I'm going to do for the time being is just leave it kind of finger tight so I can play around with it on the bike. But that's it basically. Right, let's get the first brake line in. So I've got my brake lever in roughly the right place where I want it. So I've taken into account for the grip and the control. So yeah, it's roughly there. So yeah, let's crack on. Right, so brake pipes are fitted on the bike, and yeah, it's turned out really good. So the two lines running down to the calipers, they're fine. This section here that runs up to the handle, I'm really chuffed with that. That's turned out exactly how I wanted to. And this junction section looks pretty good. Quite like how raw it is. So yeah, pretty chuffed with that. The only issue I've got is this electrical harness running around the back. So I need to come up with some sort of harness former just to keep that all kept in line. So yeah, I just need to run around now and just tighten all these union sections up, and then we can move on to the rest of the bike. Right, okay, so brakes are on the bike, and yeah, pretty chuffed with them. They look good. I'll get into bleeding them at a later date, because at the minute I don't really want to be doing it in the house because it will just be an absolute mess, and that stuff's nasty as well. So ideally I want to do it all outside. So when the GS finally gets outside, we'll do it then. So moving on to the controls and the grips. So we'll start with the grips. So this was the initial grip, or grips I purchased for the bike. So it's like a clear plastic, shall we say. They weren't easy to get on, they weren't easy to get off. They're quite tough. So yeah, I'd suggest if you're putting this type on, soak it in hot warm water, and it just makes it a bit more pliable and flexible. I didn't like them once I got on the bike as usual. They just didn't fit the look of the bike. So you know, they're cheap enough, so I'm getting upset. So what I went for in the end is kind of this retro looking grip. These were probably about, I think they're about £7 or £8 off eBay, and you can get them in all different colours. So I just went for this kind of brown burgundy look, I guess. So yeah, they look good, and they're quite squidgy. So I think they'll be quite comfortable as well. So happy with them, and they look good. Moving on to the controls. So left-hand control. This is the brand new one I bought off eBay. So this was about five or six quid, which is pretty cheap. So I wasn't expecting much from it, but everything works, and it's quite robust. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that actually. You've got your dim and full beam, indicator and horn. Everything works. I've tried it on the bike already. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And all I've done is locked off the plug or the connector from the old handlebar, or the old control, and just put it onto this one, so we can plug it straight in. Good to go. Now the right hand control, I've already put the throttle cables in, but this control was fine. There was no issues with it. So the switches worked, the buttons worked. The only issue with it was it just looked a bit tired and yeah, old, should we say. So all I've done is gone over it with a black satin paint and a black lacquer just to tidy it up, and yeah, it's worked out pretty good. I just need to bring or highlight these words up, so I'll do that at a later time. So yeah, I'll just put a bit of paint and then lacquer over it. The reason I got this control is because the design was a pretty good match for what I'd already got on the bike. So the colour's slightly off, I'll admit that, but the design is pretty much there. So yeah, they should look good together. So let's get them on the bike. so that's the controls and brake lines fitted on the GS. So it's been a long time coming, I will admit that. But obviously there was the bits that needed to be done on the bike before I could get stuck in with it. So we finally got there, should we say that. So yeah, I can move on to other aspects of the bike now. So the fuel tank's a major, I guess a major kind of design piece of the bike. So I need to start looking into spraying that now. Struggling to get the paint for that, it's another story. But yeah, we'll crack on with that in the next few weeks. Next week I'll be looking at the rear sets on the bike. Now I've got a used set of foot pegs and all the linkage and stuff actually waiting for me down at the post office. So they were delivered on Friday, but I just wasn't here to pick them up. So they're sat down there waiting for me to pick up, and then I'm going to look at how I can put them onto the bike, see if I can make it work somehow. So we'll see, fingers crossed. Right, so we'll finish it there for this episode. I'd like to thank the new subscribers. Thank you guys for coming along, and also to the people that are watching the build series and continue to watch the build series. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. More to come with the GS, so tune in next week, and I will see you guys then.